Okay, so welcome back to the channel, and in this video I essentially want to talk to you about my personal top 3 sleep supplements that are not so strong as opposed to something like sleeping pills. Again, sometimes we find ourselves trying to do everything right, sleeping early, not checking our phones, not having lights, waking up early, going out for sunlight, and still after all that struggling to fall asleep, struggling to stay asleep, not having restful sleep, and it's quite frustrating. So thankfully we do have supplements that we can use to help and make our life a little bit easier. And hopefully these, alongside doing the right things, should be able to help you get the sleep you deserve and your body needs to help you be more awake and energetic throughout your day, helping others and so on. So again, I want to focus on things that are not too strong, that anyone can use on a quite frequent basis, hopefully every day potentially, rather than something like sleeping pills, which have such a notoriously bad side effect profile, can build a lot of tolerance, a lot of dependence, and you don't want to be on those, trust me. Okay, so first one we got is magnesium. And it's not really focusing, but this is L-theanine, magnesium L-theanine. So L-theanine is essentially a different formulation. It's more expensive, but it seems to be better for sleep. Not definitively scientifically rigorous data on this, but regardless, one of the things you also have to know about any magnesium will work, don't worry. But one thing to know about magnesium is that magnesium can cause diarrhea. Okay, this L-theanine formulation might not cause as much, but magnesium is actually commonly used for people who are constipated. Okay, so it causes diarrhea, so be mindful of that. However, if you have constipation problems and have sleep problems, please just pause this video and go buy magnesium. There's honestly no reason why not to, and just take it every night before you sleep. It will help with the constipation, it will help with the sleep. Again, no reason why not to. Pause it and go buy it, if that's the case. Otherwise, important to note that it comes in 250 milligrams to up to 500 milligrams. The dosing is not that serious. If you are prone to some diarrhea, take 250. Otherwise, you can take 500 if you'd like. Other quick comments about magnesium. It's used in a variety of bodily functions. It seems to have some role in muscle function, some potential benefits in type 2 diabetes, some benefits related to migraines, anti-inflammatory effects, and so on. Generally, it's a good supplement, but primarily it's good for this context of sleep, and it's because downstream it works on GABA, which is essentially an inhibitory neurotransmitter, the same things alcohol and benzodiazepines work on. Of course, much lesser degree, it's downstream. And it's what helps you calm down, relax, and fall asleep, or fall asleep. Another comment, magnesium is commonly found in nuts, fish, and spinach, things like that. So for the most part, if you don't have those in the diet, you actually might be deficient. It's not that hard to be deficient in magnesium. Okay, great supplement. Probably, starting from strongest to least, magnesium is probably the strongest on this list, although all these supplements are not that strong, or they're all similar in strength. Again, you can take it every day. I probably take it as frequently as every other day. Okay, next supplement, L-theanine. Okay, so what is L-theanine? Essentially, it's the main active ingredient in most teas. So when you get a cup of tea, it typically will have 30 milligrams to 40 milligrams of L-theanine and 30-40 milligrams of caffeine, right? So, and that's half the reason why people really love tea. You get a bit of caffeine, a bit of L-theanine, great compounds, but the dose is very low. Typically, one pill from a product will be 3 to 5 cups of tea, but only the L-theanine, none of the caffeine. And essentially, all L-theanine primarily does is relax you. It doesn't actually help much with sleep. Specifically, it just helps with relaxation. But in studies, it has been shown to help with onset and duration and so on. But again, it's through this more relaxing pathway, again, also related to GABA. Downstream effects on GABA, amongst others. But it's actually one of the most versatile supplements. So again, if you're really debating on picking one of these 3, I think L-theanine has the most practical use otherwise. So if you want to get more than one to essentially rotate them through, I'd get L-theanine. And it's because it can be used quite well with caffeine. So caffeine, especially if you're like me, if you take a large cup, if I have a large coffee, I'll get extremely jittery, a bit anxious, and so on. And L-theanine helps offset that, as it's in nature usually given to you together, L-theanine with the caffeine. Because of that relaxing effect, it will offset it. So I typically don't consume caffeine that often at all, but when I do, I make sure to take L-theanine. Sometimes, or usually, twice as much L-theanine as caffeine. So 200 milligrams of L-theanine, 100 milligrams of caffeine. Usually I take even half that sometimes. I'm quite sensitive to this stuff. So it becomes extremely useful. You can take it with your caffeine, you can take it to help you fall asleep at night, or you can just take it to relax you and wind down in an evening. And again, something like caffeine, which you definitely shouldn't take every day, although I know everyone does, maybe a topic for another video. This is something you can take every day with your caffeine. And that's primarily how I use it, although you can use it quite well for sleep as well. And honestly, L-theanine is so good, I might make a whole another video about it, just on its own, talking a bit more in detail. Okay, now the last thing is chamomile tea, another tea. So, this tea is potentially underrated, although I think some people know about it. One of its best qualities related to sleep is this alkaloid it has called apigenin. Okay, and apigenin is a GABA transporter. So again, we talked about GABA. Both magnesium and L-theanine have downstream effects on GABA. Now this is a GABA transporter. So essentially it helps get the GABA to the receptor site and so on. So again, similar-ish mechanism of action. But it's nice to have some contrast, although it is similar. And essentially this this tea does not have caffeine in it. And with respect to dosing, take 1 gram or whatever one packet is for the most part. And in a nicely titled paper, they were talking about chamomile tea, herb of the past with a promising future. It kind of listed a bunch of different benefits. And it talked about how it has anti-inflammatory benefits, anti-cancer benefits. It can help with upset stomachs. It can help, there's just such a wide variety of like very minutiae uses, wound healing, things like that. And just because of the strong anti-inflammatory effects, it keeps jumping up, colds, so on. So it's quite a useful thing to have, and most people actually like the taste. So it's a great nighttime tea. It also has some uses because of this apigenin, not only for sleep but for anxiety. But I would say apigenin is the main active compound. You can potentially just get apigenin on its own, but you may as well drink it in the tea. And I'm also not sure how easy it is to do that. So those are the 3 supplements: magnesium, L-theanine, and chamomile tea. Typically, I like magnesium the most for sleep, so I'll maybe take that every other day. And when I feel like I need something else, I'll take chamomile tea here and there, maybe L-theanine here and there. But I already take L-theanine for other reasons, usually every other day or so. Yeah, again, these are compounds you can take every day, to be honest. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But if you want to have rotation, you just easily add another one. And quick final comment about melatonin. So melatonin is such a common supplement, I didn't want to include it in this video. It is a good supplement. However, I will note that it is better for fixing your sleep schedule than it is for sleep onset and duration. At least studies have shown. And this makes sense, given how melatonin works. It essentially is the thing that helps set your circadian clock. So you essentially take melatonin an hour or 2 before you want to sleep, and don't be too ambitious. If you slept at 4 a.m. then you want to sleep at 12, don't take it at 11, maybe take it at 1 or something, you know? And likewise, with all these things, take it 30 to 60 minutes before you sleep. It's not that serious. Nothing but 3 or 4 hours before is probably way too far. There's an argument to make for L-theanine that you can potentially take it earlier, but regardless. So I hope with those 3 suggestions, you find something you like. If you're constipated, get magnesium anyways. Honestly, if you drink coffee, get L-theanine anyways. If you like tea, get chamomile tea anyways. But regardless, I hope you have some fun experimenting and hopefully get your sleep under order if it hasn't or isn't commonly. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.